What's up, everybody? Welcome back to ICNV Driversedition, and today it is a windy but nice day in the city of Chicago, so hopefully the breeze isn't getting in too much on this conversation, but I got a very good conversation for you today. And what I want you to really think about, or maybe I'm going to ask you the ultimate question. Many people have come out and said they believe the ZR1 is the last C8 that's going to be built, and I don't agree. So with that being stated, we got Zeus in the background, as always, so you know that means we got to hop behind the car and get some fun shots as we get to this conversation. But with that being stated, I really want you to think about, or should I say, what if they're hiding Zora in plain sight? Let's talk about it. So let's dive into this. And I know many of you are sitting there saying, what do you mean? Woo! Another nice pour from Zeus. But I know many of you are sitting there saying, what do you mean about Zora hiding in plain sight? Well, let's take it back to when the Z06 was revealed. Or should I say, months before the Z06 was revealed. We kept seeing the Z06 driving around with a car with a similar body type, right? A similar body type that had exhaust on the outer post. And everybody kept speculating they were earlier versions of the C8 Z06 when they were trying to test it without actually giving away that it was going to be a center exhaust system. Well, I told people they were wrong and I got criticized back then. But we later found out that those cars, which would never accelerate or rev when people were following them, actually turned out to be the Corvette E-Ray. Well, I think we have a similar situation going on now. We are literally within a month of the official C8 ZR1 reveal. And typically, like before with the C8 Z06, more camouflage tends to come off the closer we get to the reveal. Well, why are they still covering up only one Corvette C8 Mule? And I have the reason to believe it is the one that's out with the Ferrari SF90. I have the reason to believe it's the new C8 Zora. And my big reason for saying it's the C8 Zora is because I think I know what we're going to see for the engine. Okay. So let's dive deeper into this conversation. So first of all, let's get through the formalities. My name is Sho. This is ICNV Driversedition. This is an interactive car community, which means if you reach out to me on any one of my social media platforms or drop me a conversation in the comments below, I will do my best to respond. And if the topic you bring up is interesting enough, I will shoot a video on it. Now, diving back into this conversation about the Zora hiding in plain sight. Let's look at it this way, or let me explain to you why I say that. So let's start back off with the Z06. And like I said before, the Z06, when it got closer to reveal, they took more and more camouflage off. I've been watching photos and videos emerge of the C8 ZR1 supposedly as it's getting closer to reveal, which in the last 2 to 3 weeks, and they're still covering the car in tarps and car covers. So that to me raises a red flag. When the ZR1 was first reportedly testing, we saw the ZR1 actually being tested alongside a 488 Ferrari. Well, now we're seeing what's supposedly the C8 ZR1 being tested alongside a SF90 Ferrari. That's a different in horsepower output and the actual strategy and ways they plan on achieving it. So that makes me start to say, what else is going on? When I look at the release, or let's just take one step back further. When I look at how the Z06 was being tested, they had the E-Ray alongside of it, and there was a bit of confusion about why there was exhaust pipes on the outside of it. And with that being said, I really believe that as the Z06 and E-Ray share the same body, that the new C8 ZR1 is going to share the same body style as the Zora. Now, I'm not revealing anything new. I've said this before a while back, and I actually made a video about the ZR1 and my actual beliefs about it. I just never released it back in April. I may modify it a little bit because I got some new information in this one I want to release, but I may modify it just a little bit and release it right before the reveal just for the fun of the conversation. But what I want to say is that the ZR1 to me has been tested with two different wing styles, and I believe that's just going the same fashion as the 2019 ZR1, which came with a high wing and a low wing. So I feel like that part is going to transfer over. And also, I feel like that part is also playing into the whole Zora aspect of this, and we're just not paying attention to it. Now, I believe Zora is going to share the body style of the ZR1 just like the E-Ray shares the body style of the Z06. So if you go out and look at pictures that have been taken of the Corvette ZR1 in camouflage, as I was scrolling through the pictures, I actually noticed that there was two different radiator styles or designs being showed in the front grille. So that made me take a step back and actually look at the C8 Z06 and the C8 E-Ray. They share the same body style, but when you look at the way they cool the car or the vehicle, you will see there is one less radiator or one additional radiator depending on which car you're looking at. For the Z06, there's one less radiator. When you look at the E-Ray, they have an additional add-on radiator to help cool the electric components of the car. Well, when I'm watching the ZR1 being tested, I'm seeing something similar. So now it has me scratching my head saying, well, I got to use basic knowledge. And basic knowledge tells me that if they added an extra radiator to cool the electric system on the E-Ray, maybe this car that's running around this track with the extra radiator has an electric system added to it as well. Does that mean the C8 ZR1 is going to have an electric motor added onto it? And for that reason alone, I say I don't believe so. We have so many people coming out with validation or shots that justify an actual turbo system and so forth. So I really believe the C8 ZR1 is going to be turbocharged, which only allows me to believe, therefore, the pictures that I'm actually seeing is of the C8 Zora with some form of electric motor assist. And that's very interesting to me. And the reason why it's interesting to me, because I've said all along, I felt like either the Zora will be all electric, which could be 100% wrong, or I felt like Zora will be some form of an electric motor assist to the Z06 flat plane or to whatever they throw in the ZR1. Now, do I still believe that? Well, it's really getting hard to actually think like that. And I'll tell you why. Let's take a quick break and do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Help me reach my goal of 25 before 25, which is 2,500 subscribers before the year 2025. We're chasing the movement. Be part of it. Join the channel, especially if you like the content you've seen so far. We have more stuff like this coming your way, and you too can help guide the focus of the content that comes your way. So subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. So my major belief behind Zora is, like I tell you, maybe I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but my mind works in so many different ways. And I really believe the key to all of this has actually been put in our face. 4 days ago, on June 13th, Haggerty released another drag race. It was between a McLaren 750S, a Porsche Turbo S, and a Ferrari, and they raced it against the Cadillac Le Mans car. Now, why is this so significant to me? Because the Cadillac Le Mans car is powered by the V Series R, which has a 230 horsepower electric motor and a 5.5 V8 that revs up to 8,800 RPM. This car produces up to 700 horsepower to the wheels, which means it's probably a little bit rated higher, somewhere probably right around, let's say 750, 760. And then we come around and realize that this 5.5 V8 is actually a naturally aspirated cross-plane V8. And to me, that's the aha moment. So I really believe, and this is just me talking, I really believe that the 5.5 V8 we may see inside of the ZR1 will be some version of that cross-plane 5.5 V8. And also, I actually believe that some form of this Cadillac Series R motor will be what we see in Zora. And if you put that 230 electric motor with that 700, let's say 50 or 770, what I'm predicting horsepower, 5.5 V8 that revs up to 8,800 RPM, I think you're getting like 1,000 horsepower. Now, the key to this is, and I really encourage you to go watch this video, it's kind of amazing. I feel like the way the Cadillac delivers power will be changed for the C8 Zora. And that's the big key, because the Le Mans car is not meant for a great 0 to 60 times, but it puts down an amazing punch of power when it all kicks in and works together. And you will see that in this video. And I feel like GM is going to do some tweaking to it that is probably going to put out like 2.4 seconds 0 to 60 times. And somewhere along the line, they're going to have to rein this thing in, because in the quarter mile, it was remarkable to watch this Cadillac get to 160 miles per hour. And the way it did it is terrifying. And so if they put that inside of a C8 Zora, which I believe they will, but they're going to do it differently, slightly differently, you're going to have an amazing car on the street that I promise you a lot of people should not have the right to drive. That's why I say Zora is hiding in plain sight, because in my belief system, GM only agrees to do this for a reason. They did this to really show the public where their engineering stands, and also to give us a tease of what's to come. And I say that because there was really no real reason for this. And I truly believe what they just did was show the world months or a year before they ever announced it, this is what you can expect to come. So that's why I say Zora is hiding in plain sight, because we're actually watching the technology, or some version of the technology, run around the Le Mans racetrack up under the Cadillac badge. And if you actually pay attention to the details of the car, you can see there are slight differences in the ZR1 test mules that are out there on the street. And if there are differences in the cars, that means something else is coming, because this late in the game, they would not be testing some form of electric version of a ZR1 when the reveal date is less than a month away if they didn't have plans for something else to follow. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if this information actually surprised you. Let me know if you've actually seen the Haggerty video and your thoughts on what I'm sitting there suggesting. And if you haven't, go watch that video and come back and leave me a comment and tell me what your thoughts are. Because I'm telling you, that is a very impressive vehicle. And I think we're going to see something like that, some form of that technology thrown into a Corvette. Well, before I let you guys go, like I've stated before, we were designed in his image, which means we aren't meant to just be, we are meant to live. So embrace your individualism, embrace your independence, and embrace your identity. It is okay to be unique. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will see you in these streets. Peace.